Hey folks, this is Matt. I'm going to try and run through this as soon as I can, as fast as I can. Today's repair or maintenance job I'd like to tell you about, it has to do with biking frequently in the wintertime. And I mentioned that before in one of my other videos. I've done a lot of winter biking. I know what's involved. Um, I wasn't sure what I was going to be dealing with an electric bike in the winter, but now I know. And one thing about the electric bike that I learned that I did not know before I got to this point is that the smallest cogs on the cassette will get chewed up by the chain because of the amount of pressure and power or torque going on with them. And that is something that is an easy repair. And I did a test run, and now I can explain what I did as the test run. Basically, if you have a cassette, um, it's a 10-speed cassette. I just got this generic one from Amazon. The cassette has 8 gears that are stationary, and then it's got 2 that are flexible or movable, but they're not technically flexible or movable. You lock them into place and they never move after that. And then you've got the lock nut at the top. So the 2 smallest ones are the ones that get chewed the most because they're the ones that where you're going the fastest. And it's also a lot of people will leave it in the top gears and then start from stop signs and such. And there's a good guy from Electrek that talked about this, Micah, got his last name, but he talked about how people will chew up the highest gears. So this is what you can do in order to prevent having to get a brand new full cassette. And it also tells you about how to do the repair yourself. I might run this on time lapse. I'm not sure yet. But here's what you need. This is a chain whip. I got it Amazon. I get a lot of my stuff from Amazon. Probably not the best for small parts dealers, small bike shops, but I like to do the stuff myself. It's a chain whip. It holds the cassette in place, and then you're going to need to screw the lock nut when you are unscrew the lock nut while you are holding the cassette in place. And what I do, a lot of people probably will recommend against this, is I buy the Park Tool FR5, I think it is. It's just a nut that goes into the lock bolt, and I use a vice grip, and it holds that really steady as I use the undo it with this and then hold on to it with the chain whip. Anyway, this repair these days, prices could end up being about $100 or more to swap out, just for labor, to swap out the cassette. I'm not trying to negatively affect bike stores because I think if anybody deserves business, it's bike stores. I like bike stores. I don't necessarily like automobile stores and their repair solutions. But so drive your business to them, but do it in a smart way. If you have to make the repair yourself, this is how you do it. But tell them this is what you can do for me. And they may not have experience buying the 2 smallest cogs, but it's easy to tell them to do that and just tell them to swap that out instead of doing a whole part change. Also, you save on like the manufacturer of the metals and such, and drive down the carbon use. So I made it through one winter just fine, and I intend to make it through another one at least. And then I might sell this bike and get another one that, and I haven't decided yet, but since mountain biking is still one of my favorite pastimes, I think I might actually downgrade the speed and go with 20 miles an hour, even though I don't want to. But I'll explain why I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice because the physics behind the current components. And I just swapped the cassette on this. I got 2 cogs during the winter. Let me see if I can point here to my Amazon purchase. I love the Class 3 motor though, I really do. And if I can get it to not strip for very long, getting to work with an extra 5 miles an hour, like 25, sometimes up to 27, 28, it saves time. You can add that time up per year and it's great. But you may, as I'm saying, you may not be able to do it for very long. If you keep doing that, you're going to end up realizing that you're stripping the gears or stripping the cog, and then you have to replace it. Okay, this is the first ride out of the year. I'm feeling pretty good, actually. Took out the battery. My times are a little bit off because I've been sitting on my ass for like 6 months. Kind of. I did some stuff. See, look at this. That's called no battery. I still like it. It's exactly almost a calendar year now, a little over. And I put, I'd say around 4,000 miles on it. The odometer says 35, but that's because I take out the battery when I do longer trips or I go mountain biking on trails. So I haven't changed much except tires. I switched to a studded tire in the wintertime just on the front because I like to save a little bit of money, and I know that I can handle how the bike feels when I don't use 2 studded tires. Let's see. There's 2 kinds of bikers in the world: the spandex money havers, and then people like me, the Walmart/Amazon crowd that does what they can with what they can afford. Been doing this my whole life. I had a BMX bike with tough 2s in the late 70s, early 80s, and my frame was a Team Murray frame. Let's see. I put nice components on that bike, and I probably will put nice components on this bike too. There it is. The only thing I've really done is added a seat bar, and as I mentioned, swap tires. Oh yeah, I changed the headset cap just for the hell of it, because it's a Marin cap, and I used to have a Marin bike. Is it a bike where you can do everything you want to if you're a mountain biker, and do everything you want to as a commuter/utility biker? Yeah, it is. The utility people will be hard pressed not to get everything they want to get done with that bike, because if you put a decent rack on it, you can carry a lot of stuff, and the motor should be able to handle it. If you want to do some wild trail riding, like downhill, it's a bit heavy. I'm pushing 60 pounds even on that thing, which is pretty dang heavy, because a lot of decent mountain bikes that are e-bikes are around 45 to 50 pounds. So I think I could shave some weight off of it if I wanted to by changing the rims to carbon fiber. I could even change the frame, and I've considered this. The frame is aluminum, and they sell carbon fiber frames that go with the Bafang 600, M600. So I considered doing that too. And I'm not going to do it yet though. So the motor, which is what everybody would probably want to know about, is going strong. Took it through the winter, took it over snow, and I never really had any problem with it in the winter. There's only one thing about the motor that bugs me, and that's that it kind of has this creaking sound. And I'm gonna home in on that, hopefully. I'd like to make a victory video once I finally figure out what it is and fix it. So I haven't actually removed the entire motor and put it back on yet, and I'm not about to take it apart. I think what I would do instead is just buy a brand new motor for $800, because if you go through the process of taking that thing apart, I don't know what your hourly wage is, but it'll add up pretty fast if you want to mess with it and get intricate with it. And as of yet, I haven't seen any place online that'll service these things. So if I find that, then I could just take off the motor and send it to them, which would drive me crazy to do, actually, because I rely on the bike so much. I wouldn't want to be without it for very long. So it's almost better to just swap out the motor yourself rather than have it be away in the shop. Let's see. There's one other thing about it that could be better. It's the travel on the fork. If you're really going to take mountain biking seriously and go down mountains that require some serious downhill components, the travel on that thing is 120 or 130. I think it's actually 120. It's pretty decent, but it's not like 160 or something. I want to say one more thing about pricing and what's going on out there in the world of high-end e-bikes and high-end mountain bikes and the world of Walmart bikes. It always seems to me like there's never a gray area. Like you can't get something in between. It seems like there's not a utility bike out there that you can buy for the price of, like, say, $1,500, and there's not a good mountain bike out there that you can buy for $1,500. And then, so you want a decent utility bike, that means you have to bump it up. And then you want a decent mountain bike, you have to bump it up there too. It's just way expensive. So if you can get something that's $3,000 that does both, that's the wise path. And you can always put a bike trailer on this thing. It's it'll pull well over 500 pounds, not just with the throttle. It's pedal assist, or you have to use your pedaling yourself, because I've taken 500 pounds plus in the back of a bike before, a mountain bike with a trailer. It was homemade, that I didn't make, somebody else made it. So these things will definitely handle that kind of weight.